quite a crowd here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Steven. I know several of you have met me. I am the esports recruiter here at DePaul, and I'm here to welcome you all to our 2022 DePaul Esports Awards, where we are going to celebrate you all because it has been an incredible year. As is evidenced by the mountain of plaques and trophies up here on this stage, we have so many people that are important to the many, many teams and programs that we put on here at DePaul that kind of sets our program apart from pretty much any other program out there. So today we are going to again celebrate you. We are going to pass this off to Matt here in just a moment, as long as the audio is good. Also, hello internet. I don't know what camera I'm looking at, but if you are tuning in, thanks for tuning in. Stick around. It's going to be a good time. Cool.
All right. Hello everybody. Thank you again so much for coming on out. My name is Matt Burkholtz, although a lot of you probably know me a little bit better as Matt Beach. I serve as one of the liaisons for the DePaul Esports student leadership team. I serve as the liaison specifically for Super Smash Brothers, League of Legends, and Beat Saber. Although at the end of the day, I'm a big community person. I try to work with everybody, at least to some degree, just to make sure we can keep doing a lot of the great things that you all end up doing. I think Steven put it better a lot than I could in a lot of ways. So without further ado, we can go ahead and get started. We have plenty of awards to talk about, as you can see once again by all these plaques that we have up here on the table. The way that things are going to go is pretty simple. We're going to be introducing each game individually, piece by piece. We'll be going over all the different awards, and after we announce the winners of each award for each game, we're going to be showing a highlight reel, actually, for each individual game to kind of give a little bit of a taste of what the team's been up to over the past year. During that time, you are free to come on up and claim your award at that point. If you want to stick around, give a few shout-outs, have any extra words you wanted to talk about, whether it's in regards to the specific game that you play, or in terms of the esports program as a whole, feel free to stick around. At the end of the video, you'll be able to say whatever you wanted to say. So without further ado, we can go ahead and get started. The first game that we have to talk about is, of course, the one and only Beat Saber. And yeah, I mean, Beat Saber is easily probably one of the most unique games that we've been able to work with alongside as an esport, because, you know, on top of the mental fortitude that there is required to pull off strong play, just like any other game or esport out there, with Beat Saber, because, you know, it's a VR game, there's also such an intense emphasis on physical activity. Like, it's honestly like a huge workout, as I'm sure anybody who's tried the game, it's such a huge workout just to be able to, like, pull off, like, especially some of, like, the harder difficulties for each of the songs. So, you know, it's honestly pretty exhausting, which makes it so, you know, all the efforts of our Beat Saber players, individually and, you know, also as a team, it just makes it all the more impressive. So, without further ado, we can get started with our varsity team MVP, which is, of course, our lovely friend, John Ucha. And our exemplary community award, which represents a certain community member that has been stepping up above and beyond to work alongside the team, the overall games community, and has overall been a standout member of that community. For the Exemplary Community Member Award for Beat Saber, we have, of course, Madison Bosa. If you are here, feel free to come forward. Here's a quick highlight video coming on up. It's muted, I think. Hold on, let me fix that real quick. There we go. not too bad, you know? Make sure I'm on the right slide. So our next game is actually going to be our Call of Duty team. So, you know, our players participating in the Call of Duty team and in the COD community at DePaul University have, honestly, they represent an aspect of DePaul Esports that is impressively adept at playing in a game that is, like, quite literally completely changing on an annual basis. It's something that, you know, it gets taken very for granted, I feel, by a lot of other people that play other esports. It's like, yeah, you might have a patch that changes up the meta quite a lot, or, you know, in the case of like fighting games, for instance, a new character might drop that's like, oh my gosh, how do I even learn how to like play against this matchup? With something like Call of Duty, though, the entire game literally changes every single year. So it's definitely an impressive feat. You know, while active competition in with active competition in CCL, College COD League, and other related tournaments, nothing showcases adaptability quite like our Call of Duty players representing DePaul Esports. For our Varsity MVP Award, if you couldn't tell, it's our SMG legend, Horo Minetti. And for our Exemplary Community Award, we of course have Jason Montano. So salute to you, Jason. Thanks so much for your work this year. Alrighty, so big shout out to the Call of Duty team for another successful year of playing. Very, very excited to see what they got next coming up for them, especially with the next release of the next Call of Duty game, probably coming later this year as far as I'm aware. For our next game, we of course have, let me make sure I got this correct, Rainbow Six Siege. I see we already got some people popping off, always love to see it. And yeah, I mean, Rainbow Six Siege, in all honesty, at least in my opinion, might be one of the most interesting and challenging games to compete in at such a high level. With so many different variables coming into play and a proper team synergy, really, really, important to be able to be successful in all these like big collegiate tournaments. It's like a real treat to be able to like watch our R6 team pull everything together in the heat of a moment and put on a show every single time we get to watch them play. With participation in a number of tournament series such as Face It, our R6 team is always active and keeps their eyes on the prize. With that said, our award for varsity team's most valuable player goes to our guy, Ricky Soto. And our exemplary community member award goes to Adam Talios. Nicely done, nicely done.
Okay, hello. I am Ricky. You just heard me scream a lot of curse words. I just want to say thank you. I am very proud of the R6 boys, and even though it's been a hard season, Rainbow's a really hard game, and there's really good schools out there. We've been putting up a fight, and I just want to thank Courtney and Jeremy and everyone else here that's helping us put this together. And I can't wait to see the boys play next year.
The next title we got lined up for us today is, of course, Counter-Strike Global Offense, or as everybody else just pretty much calls it, CSGO. And yeah, between being ranked top 10 in the CSGO FACEIT National Power Rankings twice now, making it to said FACEIT CSGO playoffs, and of course, winning first place in the EGF Season 3 National Tournament Series. It's pretty much no secret nowadays that, our varsity team for CSGO is easily one of the finest teams that all of DePaul Esports has to offer. We all thank our CSGO players for not only representing the DePaul Esports program with such strong play, but also for just putting on such an incredibly entertaining show for us all with their most dominant performances. So without further ado, the varsity MVP for CSGO is, of course, going to be Angel Rivera. And our exemplary community award is going to go to Alex Baima. Big shout out to our CSGO team for such an incredibly strong season this year, and for, just putting on an excellent show through and through. The next game that we have to cover is, of course, Super Smash Bros. With their well-established and successful Ultimate Event series, as well as the freshly resurfacing scene for Melee, of course, one of the most recognizable orgs within the DePaul Esports umbrella is our community and our teams for the Super Smash Bros. Series. There's such a drive to succeed within so many of our players within Smash that stretches well beyond tournament sets and right into a dedicated movement towards heightening the skill level of pretty much everyone involved. It's because of this special unity between our top players and new players alike that all of our teams, both our varsity and our JV team for Ultimate in particular, have been able to see a lot of success this year, both within the confines of our own state competition and beyond within leagues like EGF. So without further ado, our varsity MVP for this year is, of course, Sachin Patel. Our junior varsity MVP is going to be going to Ben Brocado. And our exemplary community member award is, unfortunately, going to Matt Burkholz, wherever he may be. And I told everyone to not vote for me this time around, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Really, thank you all. Big shout out to the Smash Brothers team, not only for being such wonderful people to work with, but for, of course, giving me a home to be able to compete and run stuff myself. Big thank you to you all. The next title we have in line is Overwatch. Our community and varsity team for Overwatch represents a faction of our esports program at DePaul that is dedicated towards player and team growth, even when things might look a little rough at times. A celebration of our Overwatch community is a celebration of the successes of today and the excitement of tomorrow, given the imminent release of course, Overwatch 2. With the intense improvement of the past year by their side, each of our players, we are sure, have a really bright future ahead as they tackle an intensely fresh metagame, and we all can't wait to see it. Without further ado, the varsity team MVP for Overwatch is going to go to Ryan Stormoro. Our Academy team MVP is going to be going to Fernando Gomez. And our Exemplary Community Award is going to be going towards a DePaul Overwatch legend, our very own Peyton Gatsa.
That's got to be a record you've seen, right? I don't think I did stuff. The producers say I did stuff once. But that's got to be a record for the season. You know what, we talked about the culture because we chose the series. I'm not sure if they've done that. Well, it was a really good attack.
Next game we have on our list is Rocket League. Rocket League is a title synonymous with DePaul Esports as a whole. The truth is, if it weren't for the dedication, practice, and overall hard work of our Rocket League community over the years, it's possible that our program here at DePaul Esports wouldn't have even made it as far as today so quickly. There's such a talented and hardworking team over the years, and that stretches to today. Through community nights and open play sessions, or just through fierce competitions with our rival Big East schools in EGF, Rocket League has and is set to continue to be a display of some of DePaul Esports' best offerings. Without further ado, the varsity team MVP award is going to go to Sam Roses. Our JV MVP award is going to go to Oscar Martinez. And our Exemplary Community Member Award goes to Lane Norris. So the next game we have coming up is another absolute titan of DePaul Esports, and it is going to be our League of Legends community. League of Legends is one of the absolute titans of DePaul Esports, both from a team success standpoint and from a participation standpoint, as they are not only one of our historically most high-placing teams, but they've always been able to draw an excellent crowd and numbers for participation. Whether it's through the historic success of the varsity team's performances in Big East League of Legends, or through training the up-and-comers on the JV and Academy teams, League stands as one of the mightiest and sturdiest pillars in the entire DePaul Esports program and home to some of the best talent that we have to offer. So without further ado, our varsity team MVP for League of Legends is going to be everyone's favorite jungler, Joel Alvarez. Our JV MVP is, of course, going to be Katie Morris. The award for the Academy Red MVP is going to be James Andre. Our Academy Blue MVP is Noah Miller. And last but not least, our Exemplary Community Member Award is going to go to Aaron Hall.
So Courtney asked me to say some words. I didn't have anything planned, but I guess I'm proud of not just the League of Legends teams, but every team. When it came to League of Legends, though, varsity I think placed well in almost everything. We just came a little bit short when it came to the actual the second part of the Big East Conference, and that was because there was personal issues with one of our teammates. It wasn't with the team, but it was they had a lot of stuff going on, so it was just a little hard to actually keep composure when competing. But when it comes to all the other teams, I mean, I'm really proud of them. I think they deserve a really big round of applause because they placed really well in almost every tournament that they played. So if we can, just make sure to give a round of applause. And that's it, and thank you guys.
Last but not least, we have one of our recent biggest stars as far as DePaul Esports teams go, and that is our team for Valorant. DePaul Valorant has absolutely risen to the top over the past 2 years in meteoric fashion. As one of the newest games in our list, quite literally, Valorant only came out just like 2 years ago. It feels like only yesterday that the community and accompanying teams truly carved out its personal identity and started making such an impressive name for itself. With active participation in many leagues and events over the year, if there's any games teams that will instantly impress you with some high-level gameplay and is absolutely worth watching the looming evolution of, look no further than DePaul's thriving Valorant community. Without further ado, the Varsity MVP Award for Valorant is going to go to Aaron Alhambra. JV Red's MVP Award is going to go to Nathan Shannon. JV White's MVP Award is going to go to Matthew Tan. Our Academy Black MVP Award is going to go to BJ Ahmad. And last but not least, our Exemplary Community Member Award for Valorant is going to go to Issei Grimaldi. Going to do it for all of our team awards. However, we still have a few more awards to give out. We're done with the videos though. Thank you so much to Maggie for actually making every single video for every team. give out. And for those, I'm going to be handing it off over to Courtney, who you all know by this point. Feel all ready to go? Oh yeah, you're good.
Hi everyone, thank you all so much for coming out. If we haven't had an opportunity to meet yet, my name is Courtney James. I serve as the Director for Student Involvement in Esports. I was having this moment of reflection as I was sitting over there. I was thinking way back to 2018 when we started our program. I remember the first day that the gaming center was open. And we were, as we said, we were kicking the tires with the computers, and Joel remembers because he was there with it. We had 3 teams. We had varsity, well, we didn't even call varsity at the time. We had Rocket League, League of Legends, and Overwatch. And I remember we were sitting there in t-shirts that I had to rush order because we had just gotten the esports logo approved. And we were like, okay, what can we do, right? We were going to Best Buy for cords at the last minute. We were doing all of these things because we didn't ever really anticipate that we were even going to get a gaming center, let alone an entire esports program. So this is a very surreal moment for me. The fact that we are sitting here, after the pandemic, celebrating our 20 plus teams, and this is huge, right? And it's all thanks to all of you, right? One of the things I always say is I hope you win championships, but I hope you become better people, and I hope you make better connections. And for me, my favorite moment in this entire thing is not actually giving the awards away, but hearing the cheers when people come up for them. Because that means that you've made a connection, right? You've made a connection, you've made meaningful relationships, and that's really why we do esports, right? We do this so that you all can find that place, can find that home, and find that connection. So more than anything else, thank you all who are here in this room joining us tonight to celebrate that moment and celebrate our growth and our accomplishments. Thank you to everybody online. I just looked, I saw there's like 30 people watching online as well. And I look forward to our continued growth as a program. I think that we are picking up steam fast. One of the things I'm really, really excited to share with you all, we actually just got our first full-time position approved for esports this week. So we are going to be hiring a full-time professional to help with the programming. Not that I don't love you all, I do. I just have a lot of things going on in my work life. So I'm really excited to see how the growth of the program continues from here. So we'll have more details about what the program is going to look like next year and moving forward, but just wanted to share that exciting news with you. So Matt and I were, before I go on, I did want to reiterate and give a huge kudos to Matt, Maggie, and Kevin for all that they did for this award ceremony. So let's give them a huge round of applause. I think about 7 weeks ago in we have weekly esports leadership team meetings, I said, all right, so who's going to do leadership awards? And Matt was like, I think I can do that. And he's been working on it every week since. And Maggie picked up so much, behind the scenes, logistically getting everything done too. So thank you all. Kevin, thanks for help the day of too. But yeah, I think this was great. I look forward to doing more of these in the years to come. But one of the things that Matt and I were talking about as we were, going through the voting and everything, was we were like, yes, we know that this is what these are the people that people are voting for, but we know that we're missing a couple. Right? We know that we're missing a couple. So what we decided to do is we decided to create an award called the Esports Service Award. So the Esports Service Award is a designation that really goes to somebody who is excelling behind the scenes. They're not the people that are picking up the remote or the controller or at the keyboard. They're not going to be, your ace in the hole for a championship, but they're the people who you need logistically to make things happen. So I'm excited to I'm excited to introduce this award this year. Our first recipient is a member of our SMASH program. So I was talking to Matt, and as you all know, Matt's getting ready to graduate, and I was like, Matt, your program has gotten quite large. Who's going to do this next year? And without hesitation, he said, you need to recognize Allison Diggs. So Allison, our first service award goes to you. Congratulations. Having recently traveled with the SMASH team to Williamsburg for the EGF National Championship, I say this affectionately and lovingly, but it is like herding cats. So Allison, I think you are doing a spectacular job. You know, I know they've got tons of events going on, and from what I hear, you're doing a great job behind the scenes. So thank you for that. Our next service award is someone I think that you all are probably very familiar with. So this next recipient is a person that has been on our esports leadership team for 2 years now. So what oftentimes ends up happening in our esports leadership team meetings is I say, okay, you know, here's the 10 things I need done, and then we distribute out the projects. But then every once in a while, what we'll have is we'll have somebody who will come in and say, okay, you know what, I've got an idea that I want to implement to make the program better. So this person has excelled in both of those areas. And our next recipient is Jeremy Bly.
Appreciate it.
Yep. So one of the things I've most appreciated about Jeremy, first, if y'all haven't noticed, your pictures got a lot better this year, right? Your photos, your coordinated photo days, your communication, all of that. But I think even more importantly, and why Jeremy is deserving of a service award this year, is because of the creation and the communication of our captain's council, our captain's group. I'm esports board, I think is what it's called in the Discord. This year has been the best year of communication that we've had with captains and team leaders out of the 5 years that the program has existed. And that is entirely thanks to Jeremy. So, you know, these are the kinds of steps that we need to have within our program to continue to make it better. So Jeremy, thank you for that, and thank you for your ideas, your commitment, your passion to continue to make that happen. So our final service award, when we were, you know, reflecting a little bit on what we wanted to do and who we wanted to recognize, this next person is the one person that anytime I say, okay, we need this done, they say I can do it without question. So I'm excited to give our final service award of the evening to Kevin Donovan. So one of my favorite stories to tell about Kevin, earlier this year, you all may have noticed that if you've been in the gaming center, especially early on, there was a complete overhaul of the cabinet, right? There was this moment that Kevin and I were in there, and literally moving metal boxes, metal cabinets, all of those things. While that was one moment early in the year, that was indicative of who he was throughout the entire year. Anytime we need anything, Kevin says, yep, I'll do it, what do you need? I'll get it done in time. For EGF Nationals, he was, you know, back in Chicago making graphics for every single match to go out on time. And that wasn't in his work hours, you know. That's the kind of going above and beyond that I think our program needs, and Kevin, thank you for that. So, I have one more award, and I didn't make a slide for it, because I'll tell you why here in a second. So, well, how do I want to do this? See, this is why you write scripts, so that you don't have to awkwardly think about the transitions, right? Matt's like, yep, that's why you made me write one. So, oops, hold on. Give me a minute. So, our last award of the evening is what we call our Outstanding Student Leader Award. So this really is what we consider in DePaul Esports to be your Lifetime Achievement Award. You know, this is the thing that, like, if you are looking to make a difference in the community and you graduate, this is our way of telling you that you did that. So, you know, I was sitting in my chair there and then there, I reflecting on, you know, what I was going to say, and again, why you needed to write a script before this, Courtney. But, well, I'm going to say this first. Our Outstanding Student Leader Award recipient this year is the one and only Matt Beach. So, and part of the reason I had to say this is because I have to give it to him is because he made a comment in his opening remarks that is the reason he is getting this award. He said, you know, I'm really a community guy. And you all don't know this, but what year did I hire you? 2019?
It was like the end of 2019.
I think 2019. So I went to a Smash event, and I'd never been to a Smash event prior to that. And Matt was like, hey, yeah, you know, we need pizza. Like, and I was like, okay, I can bring pizza. I've got some DePaul Esports shirts. Like, I'm going to be on campus that day anyway. I'll swing by and, you know, I'll see what's going on. And there were 80 people in the room. And Matt knew every single name of every single person. And he treated every single person with the dignity and respect that they deserved and made them feel like they belonged. And that, in and of itself, is what Matt has done every single week for our entire community for years. So, again, like I said, we want you to win the championships, but more importantly, we want you to be a good person. And Matt has been that, right? He has been that week in, week out. He served as a role model for all of our other esports students as well. So Matt, congratulations. Thank you for all you've done. I really appreciate it. You want to say anything?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
Well, I said I'd come up here and say something, but I don't really know what to say, only because I seriously had no idea any of this was being planned. I mean, the reason why, for me, I guess what I could say is when it came to esports, I've been competing in games for a really long time now. I've been competing since I was a kid, playing on my DS, playing Pokemon, Diamond. When that game first came out, I would enter tournaments for that. So I think the one thing that keeps me coming back, even when I lose, is the fact that the people, when it comes to esports, is a place where I feel like I can belong, and I feel like it's a place where it's a place where I can just be myself, and a place where I can express myself in whichever way I want. But I wouldn't have been able to know that right off the bat, coming in from the outside. So I guess a big reason why the esports community is so important to me is because for me it was able to pleasantly surprise me in a way where it was able to give me a home both socially and competitively that I would have never been able to find otherwise. So and that even extends to today, that even extends to this award. The only reason I'm able to get an award like this, to put in as much work as I'm able to, is because everybody, all of the people, whether it's in Smash or otherwise, every single person in the DePaul Esports program is just part of such a great community to work with. So, I can't really say it enough, but thank you so much for all of the time that I've had to be able to work with you and to be a part of the community. Literally, none of this would have been able to happen without all of you. So, thank you so much.
So before we head out for the evening, one of the final things that we wanted to take a moment to do was to recognize our outstanding, our graduating student leaders. We are thankful and appreciative of all you have done in your time with the program. So I'm going to ask Stephen to come up if you don't mind. If you are here, we'll read your name, and if you can come up and get your graduation regalia. So we started these a couple years ago. If you haven't seen them in person, I don't know that you all have. But when you graduate from DePaul Esports, this is what we give you to wear. We want you to proudly represent the institution as you walk across the stage. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and recognize our graduating students. So Noah Miller. I employed him for 3 years and I still don't know how to say his last name. Matt Beach.
I kind of prefer it that way.
Yeah. I don't think she joined us tonight. Charisma Vengas. Christopher Audrey. George Hatsopoulos. Matt Erickson. Jeremy Wong. David Ademis. Kate Morris. And last but not least, Maggie Malone. Wonderful. Well, great. Well, thank you all so much for coming. For those of you that are in person, we're going to take a large group photo before you leave. So if you can convene at the back of the room. Before as soon as I stop talking, we'll take the picture about a minute or two after that. But thank you all for coming. Thank you for joining us online. And we look forward to a great 2022-2023 school year. Have a great night, everyone.